Welcome to the Property Investment Academy Southwest, where property knowledge meets real-world experience. Every week, we bring you practical advice on property investment, construction, development, health and safety, business and mindset, all based on real projects and years of industry experience from professionals who are actively building, developing and investing in property every single day. Whether you're buying your first investment, growing a portfolio, or simply looking to understand property better, our goal is to give you honest advice, practical strategies and the confidence to make better decisions. If that's the kind of content you're looking for, make sure you like, subscribe and follow the journey. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss our latest content. Now let's get into today's video. Every few months, we're told prices are about to fall off a cliff. Buyers have disappeared and it's the worst time to invest. But after spending years in construction, working on developments, renovations and property through different economic climates, I've learned one thing. The headlines rarely tell the full story. Markets don't just go up or down, they adjust. And if you understand the four things that really drive property, interest rates, supply, demand and affordability, you'll stop reacting emotionally and start making better decisions. Let's start with the one everyone talks about, interest rates. Whenever rates go up, people automatically assume house prices have to come down. And yes, there is some truth in that because higher mortgage rates reduce borrowing power. Someone who could borrow 400 grand a few years ago might only qualify for 325 or 350 today. That naturally changes what buyers can afford. But here's what years in construction and property have taught me. Interest rates don't stop people needing homes. I've worked through periods where borrowing was expensive, where finance was difficult to get, and where confidence was low. Every single time people adapted. Buyers adjusted their expectations, sellers became more realistic, developers changed what they built. The market found a new balance. People often think rates are the market. They're not. They're just one of the levers. If wages improve, inflation falls, confidence returns, or lenders become more competitive, activity starts picking up again, even if rates are higher than people would like. The mistake people make is assuming today's rates will be here forever. Markets move in cycles. I've spent years in this industry. I've seen enough cycles to know that reacting to one snapshot in time usually isn't the best strategy. Let's talk about supply. It gets far less attention. From my experience in construction, this is probably one of the biggest issues facing the UK property market right now. The reality is very simple. We aren't building enough homes. People often think developers can just decide to build more overnight, but that's not how it works. You've got planning delays, rising material costs, labour shortages, increased regulations and higher finance costs for developers themselves. I've seen projects delayed for months or even years, not because there wasn't demand, but because getting developments out of the ground has become increasingly difficult. That in itself creates a shortage. And when supply is restricted, prices tend to remain more resilient than people expect. It's basic economics. If you've got 10 buyers chasing 5 homes, prices don't suddenly collapse because interest rates have increased. Could growth slow? Absolutely. Could some local areas soften? Of course they could. But nationally, the lack of housing stock continues to provide long-term support to the market. That's why I always tell people to look beyond mortgage rates and start looking at housing supply. It's one of the strongest fundamentals we have. The next piece of the puzzle is demand. And despite what some headlines suggest, demand hasn't disappeared. It's evolved. Think about why people buy property. People get married, families grow, you get divorced. Children leave home, people relocate for work, investors enter the market, new investors, downsizes free up equity. Life keeps happening, keeps evolving. None of those reasons suddenly disappear because mortgage rates have increased. Working in this industry for years, I've seen demand change during different economic climates, but I've never seen it completely vanish. What changes is buyer behaviour. People become more selective. They negotiate harder, they spend longer making decisions. They may compromise on location or size, but they still buy. And when confidence starts returning, you often see demand increase surprisingly quickly because there's been a backlog of people waiting on the sidelines. Property demand is driven far more by demographics and life events than sensational newspaper headlines. That is something worth remembering. Finally, affordability. This is probably the biggest challenge facing buyers today. Higher mortgage payments mean people have to think much more carefully about what they can comfortably afford. Lenders are stress testing applications more and more carefully. Monthly repayments matter more than ever, and that's changed buyer behaviour. But affordability issues don't automatically equal a market crash. More often, they create a slower market. Homes take longer to sell, negotiations become more common. Sellers who overprice their property have to reduce expectations. Well-presented homes priced correctly still sell. Poorly priced homes sit on the market. That's a healthy adjustment, not just necessarily a collapse. I've seen this firsthand through different economic periods. The strongest markets aren't always the fastest markets. Sometimes they're simply balanced. Buyers have more choice. Sellers have to be more realistic. Deals still happen, construction continues, developments continue, people continue moving. That's what a functioning property market looks like. So is the UK property market crashing? From everything I've seen over the years in construction, I'd say no, it's just adjusting. Interest rates have changed borrowing, supply is still constrained, demand hasn't disappeared, it's increased. Affordability is creating a more balanced market. When you stop looking at one headline and start looking at all four of those factors together, the picture becomes much clearer. Property has always moved in cycles. The people who understand those cycles are usually the ones that make the best long-term decisions. Here at the Property Investment Academy Southwest, that's exactly what we're here to help you do. To give you practical advice based on real experience, not just headlines, hype, or guesswork. If you found today's video useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's looking to get into property. And let me know in the comments, guys, what's concerning you most about the UK property market today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep moving forward. See you next week.